Okay, let's unpack this. What if the secret to weaker legs after 60 isn't just, getting older? What if it's actually hiding in your fruit bowl?
It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But yeah, many fruits we think of as light, maybe clean, can actually subtly undermine leg strength, especially after 60.
How so?
Well, they can trigger inflammation, sometimes worsen circulation, and suddenly even a short walk feels like a real effort.
So our mission in this deep dive is really to uncover these kind of surprising biological shifts in our bodies post-60. Shifts that can turn seemingly healthy fruits into, well, saboteurs of leg strength. We're drawing on insights like those from Japan's oldest practicing doctor.
Right, and what's fascinating, or maybe a bit alarming, is that the danger isn't obvious at all. These are foods we see as fundamentally healthy, not like candy or junk food.
Exactly, not processed stuff.
Yet they can quietly drain the power from the very limbs carrying you through life. It really challenges that common wisdom.
It absolutely does. Okay, so where do we start? What's the first fruit we need to maybe look at differently?
First one up, grapes. The issue here is they're extremely high in fructose. And for many people over 60, the liver just gets a bit overwhelmed trying to process that much fructose efficiently.
Okay, so the liver's involved.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Well, this overload can cause uric acid levels to spike. And that byproduct, uric acid, it interferes with nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide. Yeah, that's the stuff that helps blood vessels relax, right?
Exactly. It's what lets them widen. So without enough of it, or if it's interfered with, your circulation kind of narrows down. Think of it like trying to push water through a smaller pipe.
Gotcha. So less oxygen, fewer nutrients actually making it down to your leg muscles, and muscle repair slows down.
Precisely. So it's not just about a sugar rush. It's this specific fructose pathway impacting blood flow.
That's a really key distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, beyond grapes, what's another common fruit that might impact our, ability to move freely?
Let's talk bananas. Super convenient. Everyone grabs them, but they're high in simple carbs. And for many seniors, especially if there's some level of insulin resistance, which is quite common, bananas can cause these really exaggerated blood sugar swings after eating them.
Big spikes and then crashes.
Yeah. And those swings create stress, like tiny stresses in the microvessels, the really small blood vessels in your legs and feet. Over time, this microscopic damage just erodes strength, especially if you eat a banana all by itself without fat or protein to sort of cushion the metabolic hit.
It really makes you rethink that quick, easy snack habit. Okay, so we've got blood sugar, vessel health. What about a fruit we often link with, say, hydration? Could that have hidden issues for leg strength?
Good question. Let's look at pineapple. It's got the fructose, like grapes, but also these acidic compounds.
Acidic. How does that factor in?
Well, it seems that combination, particularly after 60, can sometimes trigger a low-grade edema. Basically fluid retention. It makes your legs feel kind of puffy or heavy.
Well, like they're holding water.
Exactly. And that extra fluid actually impairs oxygen delivery to the muscles. It slows down recovery if you've exerted yourself, and some studies link it to reduced working speed and even a higher fall risk.
Wow, it's easy to miss that connection entirely. Okay, so fluid retention impacting mobility. What's another really common fruit that might be subtly slowing us down?
Watermelon. Seems harmless, right? Mostly water.
Yeah, super hydrating, you'd think.
It is hydrating, but it's extremely high on the glycemic index. It causes a really rapid surge in blood glucose, followed by an equally fast crash. Plus, it's low in fiber and protein.
So what's the downside there for legs?
When you have it in larger amounts, it can actually dilute essential electrolytes, things like magnesium and potassium, which are crucial for muscle function and nerve signals. That dilution can contribute to leg cramping or that awful restless legs feeling.
Oh, I know people who struggle with that.
Yeah.
Okay, that highlights how even something seemingly benign can deplete things our muscles really need. What's next on the list of surprising culprits?
Dried fruit. Think raisins, dates, dried mango.
Oh, those are often marketed as healthy snacks.
They are, but they're basically concentrated sugar bombs.
Mm,
When you dry the fruit, the water leaves, but all the sugar stays, right? It becomes super concentrated.
makes sense.
And that intense glucose load can damage the inner lining of your blood vessels. It's called the endothelium. Think of it as the delicate, smooth, non-stick layer inside your blood pipes. Damage there limits nutrients reaching your lower limbs, which can lead straight to fatigue and instability.
It really does challenge that healthy snack perception. So for dried fruit, it's the concentration that's the issue for blood vessels. Is there another form of fruit that's maybe equally deceptive?
Fruit juice. And yes, even the fresh squeezed kind, like orange juice.
Really? Even fresh?
Yeah, because juicing strips away almost all the fiber, What's left is basically liquid sugar that hits your bloodstream incredibly fast, almost instantly. This causes a huge insulin spike. And over time, those repeated spikes contribute to vascular damage, which often shows up first in the legs and feet because they're furthest from the heart. That whole sugar roller coaster just reduces muscle resilience.
It's so counterintuitive because juice feels so light, doesn't it? But you're saying it acts more like a syrup once it's inside you.
In terms of the rapid sugar absorption, yes. And finally, let's touch on canned fruit.
Like peaches and syrup, fruit cocktail, stuff like that.
Exactly. The canning process itself often destroys beneficial enzymes. Then they add preservatives. And crucially, the fruit is usually bathed in concentrated sugars, often high fructose corn syrup, or maybe fruit juice concentrate itself.
So double trouble.
Pretty much. It's a combination that can quickly overwhelm aging blood vessels. And research links this kind of thing to reduced walking speed and more systemic inflammation throughout the body.
Wow. This whole deep dive really shifts how you think about fruit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about saying fruit is bad across the board.
Not at all. It's more that our bodies genuinely change after 60. They develop different needs, different vulnerabilities. So the approach to even healthy foods needs to adapt.
Requires a different strategy, maybe.
Precisely. And knowledge is really only valuable when it's understood and then applied personally. There isn't a single rule that fits everyone. But if you start noticing things, maybe some swelling, tightness, unexpected muscle fatigue after eating certain fruits, pay attention.
Your body is giving you clues.
It is. It often speaks quietly at first.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? It seems the choices you make, even in something as simple as your fruit bowl today, can directly impact the strength and mobility you carry tomorrow, which really brings up an important question to reflect on. What subtle signals might your body have been trying to send you lately? And how could listening more closely to them potentially preserve your independence for years to come?